Hey guys, Morgan Wright Viewer here back again with another kit review. We're reviewing the RX-121 TR-1 TR-1 Hazel Custom in deployment colors for the Titans. So it was definitely an interesting build. Crazy it is, it was actually my first run and tryout with water slides, so definitely got some work to do on figuring those out for the future models, but I do like the way most of them came out when I was done. Did mess up a couple of them, but it is what it is on that, so we will get into this kit review and go from there. Obviously, if you've watched my some of my earlier videos, you've seen I have kind of a thing for the Titans colors. If you saw it, I did do a review for the real grade, master grade, and perfect grade Gundam Mark II Titans. Just the actual Mark II for it, all in the blue deployment colors. I think they look really nice. You don't really need to do a whole lot for panel lining on them just because the kits are so dark to begin with. So that's kind of a nice thing for me. Takes kind of one step out of it. At some point I may go back and panel line them and I don't know, something weird. I might pick up a high grade one or something to try and try some different color panel lines on it, see if I can find one that I like. But otherwise, just the models themselves look really nice. The dark blue and the grays with it kind of complement each other without really drowning each other out, so that is kind of a nice thing. But we'll get into this kit review and go from there. Overall, the kit was actually quite a lot of fun to build. It's definitely a little bit different. It's got some nice hefty legs on it, so that was a bit of a difference for me. Not used to them being quite that hefty. The last thing that I built with legs that were quite that interestingly close was my perfect grade Banshee. Review on that is still yet to come at some point, but it will get there. Otherwise, as you can see, it doesn't have a whole lot of weaponry. It's got its standard beam rifle, and it's got a beam saber. That's all it's got really for actual weapons. So that was a little bit different for me. I'm used to 3, 4, 5 weapons for almost every kit that I see. So that was a little bit different. This does come with what I've kind of come to believe is about the standard for master grade hands anymore. Separated thumb, separated firing finger, and then 3 fingers connected. So otherwise, it's a pretty nice gun. No decals, no like foil decals. Outside of about 6 or 7 on this model. Even the gun doesn't have one. It's got actually a clear green piece up in here, so that was a little different for me. I'm used to having a foil sticker that I gotta put on that. It's still got the drop down for the optic on the gun, and it's still got the run up for the side handle. And then the interesting part was right in the middle of it is a little piece that you could push out in one direction if I can get it to move, which apparently oh, sorry, that's right, it's not on the magazine on this one. It's up here at the back end of the gun, a little piece that you can push back and forth. Sticks up a little bit that you can mount it on the hip where the extra, I guess, what they're supposed to look like is magazines are, which there's a slot on the back of the hip for those, and then there's actually a slot on the back of each arm where you could stick that as well. They actually fit right into the same slot where the shield mounts for the arms. So you got those. There's the second little replacement magazine on the other side So there's that. And then get the shield off here. This shield was mounted the same way as the Master Grade Mark II Titans. So it's on this little U-bracket, I guess. Where you've really got two spots on the U-bracket you can mount it. You can mount it on one of the sides or on the actual bottom of the U. And you can mount the thing then if you want right onto the back of the arm, or you can switch it up and mount it off the side of the arm like you would see most people having theirs mounted. So you can see got the water slide on here. I did have some trouble with this one. The curved surface kind of gave me some issues, so we'll hopefully address that in future builds with different ones. I need to pick up some Mr. Setter and Mr. Softener probably, and really kind of be a little more careful. I did tear this one a little bit and just relined it up really well, so hopefully that will work. And then to go along with that, there is also the shield booster on the back, which obviously I messed that one up and had to do a whole bunch of scraping to get that off. Eventually I'll get that repainted and cleaned up. I just kind of took some water and went over it a bunch of times for now just to get it at least semi-cleaned up. It does have a little push-in piece that you can take off for when you mount it onto the backpack. So you can also mount this on the arms as well as a shield. So thought it was kind of interesting. Gave you really two shields to go with it. I think it looks pretty nice. I actually really like the way it looks all the way up on the back as the shield booster, which plugs directly into the backpack with this little peg that drops down. So you've got this hole here for the backpack, the peg, and they just kind of slide right in together and you're in to go. With that, the backpack also does have a bit of an extension, so hopefully you guys can see around my fat fingers moving stuff here, and the fact that I'm knocking the beam saber off, and apparently taking the backpack off too. Yeah, that'll work. So it doesn't extend far, but it does have a little bit of an extension. The good news about this mobile suit is, well, I guess the model, is that even though the backpack's pretty heavy and the shield booster's on the back, you can really kind of set it up any way you want with the beefy legs and the nice big feet. You don't really have to worry about it falling over. So I don't think that should be an issue for anybody of it actually falling over. It stands pretty steady, so as long as you get the feet in a reasonable position. So alright, so we'll move on from those. Obviously, beam saber handle, same as typical. It's got a notch in it right in the front here. Fits into the peg on the hand. Gripping it seems to be okay. I would recommend being careful if you're building this model with the end of it. I think all of the cutting was on the sides of this one, which it was, but just remember these are actually meant to be there, these two little nubs on the end. So the beam sabers are just a standard red beam saber. Otherwise, on to the rest of the model, I guess. Whoops. As usual, verniers don't stick in very well. I think I've pretty much covered that on almost every model that I've reviewed so far. So it does have these little pop-up things on the side. I have no idea what they're for. I'm guessing you could put a beam saber in one of them, put it in his hand, although I think it'd be a little hard to hold. But I mean, I'm sure you could make it work if you wanted. Really not entirely sure what those are. So this one, unlike their actual regular Mark IIs, does not have like a little Vulcan headpiece to attach. So that is what it is. This model was a little different on a lot of things, though. Just minor things here and there. Obviously, the legs being big and beefy. As a Master Grade, it actually comes with a set of water slides. and that second sheet from the instructions that I showed you guys in the unboxing has an entire decal layout just for the deployment colors version, which from what I could tell wasn't any different than the regular version. So I guess it is what it is on that. So this one did have a couple of foil decals. So the eyes are a foil decal. There's a foil decal here. There's one in each leg. And there's one back here on the backpack. So other than that, everything else... Oh, apologies. Inside the legs, these two are just regular sticker decals. And in the front of the legs, those are also regular sticker decals. Typically with those, sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't. I thought they went in there okay, so I didn't bother pulling them back out. And then the only other sticker decal on here is right here in the front of the waist piece. That little yellow piece on there is actually a sticker. I got it on there pretty well. Eventually it'll probably come back off and get painted just to really clean it up a little bit better. But otherwise, it wasn't a whole lot of regular stickers to put in, which was kind of nice. So you got, as usual, complete double jointed arms, so you can turn those all the way up if you want. Hands are jointed there along with the ball joint, standard finger joints. Your legs are double jointed again, along with some nice armor separation with the double joint. So unfortunately you can't bend this one back quite as far just because of all the back boosters on the legs. They did do the positionable leg joint, so the leg joint's actually got a slot in the back there where you can slide the entire leg joint forward and back, depending on how you want to be able to pose it. Mine is forward and probably will stay that way. I found it a little bit more stable to be forward, so there's that. Unfortunately, this one does not have, like some of the other ones do, a lot of compartments that open up. It does, however, still have a cockpit that will open. Let's see if I can actually get it open here. I know it's probably really almost impossible to see up in there. So let me see if I can't get a little bit more light. So I don't know how well you guys can see up in there, but there is a little pilot up in there. So they do give you the pilot for this one. I know they don't on all of them, unfortunately, but it is what it is, so not that big of a deal. Really, that's the only compartment really on this one that opens. So there's not a whole lot more to that on these ones. Obviously, the water slides are on. Triple T for Titans training team. A couple of spots in the front, along with I used the actual full frame symbol for them. I thought it looked really nice, rather than just the head, which is what's on the legs. But we'll go from, I like the way it looked, and I like the way the Titan symbols end up looking anyway. So they're on the legs, on the side, and on the feet, along with the actual symbol on the side of each leg. And then back here in the back, we got another Titans training team symbols there and there, and the actual test team full symbol back over here, which actually rolls around the corner. And it's another one of those where I really like the way the water slide looks. I don't like exactly the way it came out on the once I was done putting it on, but there isn't a whole lot I can do about that now, outside of trying to wet it again and getting it sit better. So I will say this one, like the other ones, did have some felt pieces. These ones actually wrap around the plastic, so what I did is what I typically do on most of these. I'll get it into whatever the open end is, put the plastic piece up and through it, and then I take a little bit of just whatever model glue I have, and because I use like the clear thin model glue, I will dab some on there to stiffen them up some, just because I don't want them all of a sudden deciding down the road they're going to start fraying. So I think it just keeps them from fraying, keeps them in good shape. They should look nice for years and years and years to come. So unfortunately, like I said, I didn't do any panel lining just because I'm not entirely sure what color I want to use on the rest of the panel lining, and I don't want to panel line the yellow and then leave the rest of it looking blank. So eventually I will get around to finding a high grade, and I'll test out some panel lining stuff on that and see what color I decide I want to use on the blue, and then I'll panel line the entire kit. So other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. If you are new, please go ahead and click that subscribe button down below, and if you're one of my returning subscribers, thanks again for watching, and we will see you next time.